Hello everyone. I don't think I've done a recording to talk about how to determine low-end, mid-range, or high-end PCs. So I'm going to fix that. Before I do, I would like to tell you that everybody has their own opinions. This is my opinion based on the last 16 years of building PCs. So here we go. You determine low-end, mid-range, or high-end by looking at the overall cost of the PC and determining its purpose. For the sake of this recording, I'm going to focus on gaming PCs and gaming PCs used by streamers. For the pure gamers who don't care about streaming, you are looking at the i7-8700K or the i5-8600K as your best bet. This is determined based on um, the cost to power ratio. I can pull off an i5 8600K build for 800 to 850 using a GTX 1060 or RX 580. For the i7 8700K, I can do that for 900 to 950 if the sales are good on both of them. I would consider this the mid-range. For the high end, that's going to be one of these processors paired with um, a GTX 1070 or 1080 Ti. I don't have the numbers off the top of my head for the i5. For the i7, I can do that for 1,000 to 1,100. That I would consider the high end. Maybe you could go a bit higher than the i7 if you wanted to, but I don't see a point of that. For low end, I would say the i5 8400 um, paired with the video cards that I just mentioned, or perhaps using a lower video card, assuming that you are using the 1060 or RX 580. I can pull off an i5 8400 build for between 700 and 800. Moving into streaming. For the streamers who game, that's going to be the i7 8700K, Ryzen 7 1700X, and the Ryzen 7 1800X. If it's a single PC build, um, you are going to be looking at the GTX 1070 at best. I can do a 1700X build for roughly 1,000 to 1,100. For the i7 8700K, that's going to be 1,200 to 1,300. The 1800X is going to be a little bit more than that because of the difference in cost. It's 460 versus 420. So that's what I would consider the mid-range for streamers. For high end, you're looking at 1080 Ti, which is going to be, I would say, 1,300 to 1,400 using the i7 8700K. For the low end streamer, that's going to be the Ryzen 5 1600X paired with a GTX 1060 or RX 580. At that rate, you're looking at, I want to say, 900 to 1,000, depending on parts. Streamers um, have different needs, so I'm looking at things like better sound cards, um, capture cards, and things of that nature. That's why the cost is going to be a bit higher, in addition to the base cost of the video card and CPU. With all that mentioned, I would like to go ahead and give some notes. Building a PC, I think, is vital to gamers and streamers. If it's going to be your thing, then you should get to know what you're doing or what you're buying. Building your own PCs is going to save you so much money initially and down the road. As you build more and more over the years, you start transferring parts over from one PC to another. I know with my second PC, I have a power supply unit that's roughly 8 years old. It's been through, I think, 2 or 3 builds at this point. So there's a great example of part transfer. The cost is going to be less than buying a brand name. It's still going to be high when you do your first build, but that's to be expected. When looking at the cost of parts, keep in mind that you're looking at maybe 3 years. That's a good number to look at. Computers can last for much longer than 3 years, but it's hard to determine that at any given point. So that's why I say 3 years is a good reference point. So let's just say if a part is $100 more than the one you're looking at, take that 100 and divide by 3. That's the mentality you need to have. Essentially, that is what you're paying off in that particular time frame. I think that's the most that I have for you. Thanks if you listened.